We're live.
Hello, everybody, and I am Ariana Newcomer. I want to welcome you to this short hangout. And I'm going to be completely upfront here. This hangout is for me to tell you about a wonderful new opportunity for you to work with me. I have designed a Voice Your Value, How to Charge What You're Worth and Get It group VIP day intensive. And I'm really excited. I have taught this content before, and it's really fabulous. Helps you to really be able to stand in the truth of the value of who you are and what you provide, and be able to raise your fees without feeling out of integrity, without feeling sick to your stomach, without worrying, is this actually going to work? Are my clients going to pay? And I'm also really excited to have with me two people who participated in another Voice Your Value, How to Charge What You're Worth It teleclass with me. And they're going to share with you their experience in the class, some of the ahas that they had and some of the breakthroughs that they've had since. So I'm really delighted to be here. I want to let you know that this group VIP Day Intensive is going to be happening on November 15th, all in one day. And we'll be starting at 9 a.m. Pacific time, which will be noon Eastern. And there will be breaks during the day for you to be able to process and what you're learning and to complete some of the exercises that we're going to be doing. So this is just one day that's going to allow you to completely shift your mindset and your paradigm around what you charge and how you value yourself and how you value the work that you provide, the services, the products, the coaching, etc., that you provide. So welcome. And I also decided to keep this to just 30 minutes because if you're like me, you've got teleseminar and webinar fatigue. I can't tell you how many teleseminars or webinars I've signed up for, never showed up for them, and downloaded the recording and never listened to it. So this is only 30 minutes, and we're going to go through this very quickly. So the format of the day, again, is going to be 4 different sessions separated by breaks. It's going to be virtual. It will be online, and I am limiting it to 6 people so that I can really engage with each person. I can give each person individual coaching, because especially when we're working with voice, which of course is part of what we're going to be doing, I love to be able to give that individual feedback in what I hear in someone's voice, because you don't hear yourself accurately. Most of us have an idea of how we sound, and we think we sound a certain way, and we think we're using a lot more expression than we actually are. So when I hear that lack of expression, I can reflect back to you that this is how you said it. And you'll go, oh my goodness, that's not what I thought I was doing. So I can help you craft your marketing message in a way that you can deliver it so that it's compelling, it engages people, it excites people, and it inspires people to actually work with you. So I want to introduce Rodney Washington and Kiana Grace Frost, and dear wonderful people both. And some of you who've watched my Hangouts before know that Rodney usually is my Hangout manager. I just decided to go first today. So, so Rodney is going to talk about his experience in the Voice Your Value class, and Kiana Grace Frost also was in another Voice Your Value class, and she and I are just real soul sisters, and I so much appreciate her being with us today. So let me give you a little more detail about exactly what you're going to get in the course, in this VIP Day Intensive. You're going to learn how to voice your value with power and confidence. And you might be saying, what does that mean, voice your value? And simply put, what I mean is that when you speak about what you do, you are able to do it in a voice that conveys your confidence, your knowledge, your understanding of the depth of value that you provide. So we actually can hear that in your voice. And I want to give you a little demonstration. This is a kind of an extreme demonstration, but I watched a woman give a wonderful presentation on stage once, and she clearly knew her stuff. She had great qualifications. She was a very engaging presenter. And then when she got to her offer, she started talking like this, and her eyes started going, and she actually started wringing her hands like this. So that's an extreme example of how your voice can sabotage you. And her voice very clearly told us that she was not confident in the value of what she had to offer. She wasn't confident that the price she was asking people to pay was actually worth it for what they were getting. So this whole day is designed to get you completely aligned with your internal confidence and understanding of the value of who you are and what you provide, so that it completely shows up in your voice. That's what I mean about voice your value. So we've got lots of exercises and processes for you to do to release negative emotions and limiting beliefs about your fees and what you should be charging. That you can stand in the truth of your value by fully understanding exactly how your unique work impacts your clients in every area of their lives. So there's a wonderful exercise that we do. It's actually a series of exercises that we do to get you to really own and understand that. And plus, as I mentioned, I am going to show you how to communicate the results you provide with integrity to your prospective clients, so that they hear your confidence in your voice, and we'll also be working on crafting a marketing message out of the exercises that we do. So this is brilliant stuff. I'm really excited to get it into your hands, and I know that there are lots of, especially spiritual entrepreneurs out there, who really struggle with this issue. We know that we have gifts that we've been given, that we're here on the planet to give, and a lot of times we can feel like we're supposed to just give them and not charge anything for them. And Kiana and I are both taking a course right now called Creating from Higher Guidance with Tim Kelly. And there was a beautiful nugget that he gave us yesterday that I want to pass on to you, which really speaks to this issue. So we've been talking about getting information from trusted sources and from guidance as to what exactly it is that we're meant to be doing, the blessing that we're meant to be giving people to work with, and how we're meant to do that in the world. But he also helped us see that we need to actually bring our ego into this process, because when we're working with guidance, very often our guides are really mostly concerned with getting us to grow and develop, and they are not so concerned with whether we're really enjoying the process or not, whether it actually creates a life that we really enjoy living. And so we bring our ego into the process and partner with our spiritual guidance to say, okay, these certain things are things that I'm willing to do, and I want to have a life that I really love and enjoy at the same time as I'm actually fulfilling my larger spiritual purpose on the planet. So this is a powerful, positive function of our egos. And I love that too, because I've never really subscribed to the spiritual idea that we're supposed to just get rid of our ego. I believe very much in being a full human being. Here we are human beings, and everything that we are is what we're meant to be here on this planet, is what I believe. And this is part of what my work with voice is about getting you to be able to express the full range of your whole self as a human being, as a real human being in the world. So another trap that spiritual entrepreneurs can get into is to start communicating in this kind of style all the time, and to think that we have to sound like a spiritual person and that we're not supposed to ever be angry or ever have a negative thought or, oh, that drives me nuts. I want you to have the full range of expression of who you are as a human being. Let's be human beings. We're here on the planet to be human. Let's do it. So we're going to bring in ego to say, I can actually earn money doing my purpose. It's important for me to earn money doing my purpose because otherwise I won't do it, because I can't survive on this planet as a human being if I'm not making money. So we're going to work on shifting some of those paradigms and those mindsets that have stopped us as spiritual entrepreneurs. Great. So, Rodney, I would love to have you share now with people watching what your experience was in the Voice Your Value class that we did last summer.
Yeah, thank you so much. Well, for me, my big thing is, I feel I'm a true artist. I have the soul of a true artist, and an artist, in my opinion, is that person who really, they have a talent or a gift for something that really comes very naturally to them, and because it comes naturally to them, um, when it comes to charging for it or asking someone to pay you for it, we tend to diminish what we're doing because it's physically or mentally easy for us to create it. We don't necessarily look at what we do in a way that's transformational for the client, the person that's buying it. And for me, one of my passions is photography. And recently I was presented with an opportunity to reconnect with a former client to photograph an event. And I'll be really honest with you, initially when I was approached with the event and we started discussing the numbers and what have you, I actually turned the job down. I actually said no to it. And then after I sent the email off, I went back and thought about some work that we had talked about in the Voice Your Value course this summer. And one of the exercises that we did in particular helped me to reframe in my mind what results I was actually creating for this client, what they really were getting. So it took it away from me, necessarily, what I physically do, to the things that this client really wanted, and more to the point that they felt so strongly about my ability that they called me back 2 years later to do it for them again. So when I thought about that, I started writing out what those results were, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to go back and reapproach this person, this client, and from the perspective of the value that I know my work brings her. And I went back and reevaluated and relooked at what it was that I actually did from her perspective, not from my perspective. And I went back and said, okay, well, this is the rate that I feel would be appropriate for me, and I felt for her. And in this case, it was triple what I had charged 2 years prior. And I went back and I rebid again, and I gave the number, and 20 minutes later they responded back, and they were like, okay. It was like that simple.
Yes.
And when that, go ahead.
What I love was you bring in this piece of artists can have the same issue as spiritual entrepreneurs as, well, I have these gifts, and these are really easy for me to do, and so I shouldn't charge that much for it because it's just really easy for me. So that's another paradigm shift that has to be made. Because we need to turn around and start looking from the standpoint of the value that the clients or customers get, instead of what the value feels like to us. So that's a lot of what we're going to be doing in this VIP day, is creating that mindset shift for you so that you really understand, as Rodney did, when he went back and looked at what the value truly was for this client and realized how much value she'd gotten from his previous work at such a low rate, he was able to just say, oh man, this is worth 3 times what I charged her before. And she didn't blink. She agreed. She realized it. She understood the value of what he did. So, and I also want to bring in another piece here, which is that we women can actually diminish the value of what we provide. Just as I happen to believe that this is really a cultural issue. One of my mentors in life is Riane Eisler, and I've done several courses with her and read most of her books. And she's written a book called The Chalice and the Blade, which was one that I read many years ago, and then more recently a book called The Real Wealth of Nations, Creating a Caring Economy. And she points out this cultural situation that we have where men are considered more important than women, and traditionally masculine values, and I'm going to put them in quotations because as we all really know, women can have these values too, and men can have what are considered feminine values. But so let's think about the traditional masculine values of winning, being powerful, being strong, and that the feminine values of taking care of others and collaborating and partnering with people are devalued in our culture, and that leads to a real skew in the way that our economy functions. So one of my passions in life is to help create this paradigm shift in our economy so that we have an economy that is functioning more by including these values of caring and partnering, so that we actually can include the costs of taking care of each other, taking care of our children, and taking care of our planet in our economic models and policies. So I want all you conscious spiritual entrepreneurs out there to be really successful so we can shift the economy, so we can be part of the new paradigm of business. That's part of what this course is about for me. And I have so been there in not being able to raise my fees and just feeling uncomfortable in my former career as a massage therapist and as a singing teacher. I charged the same price for years and years and years. Didn't raise it once when I had all this greater experience and more tools to use, et cetera, and just hadn't ever raised my fees because I had that, ooh, I don't think my clients will pay it, or I don't know that I'm really worth it. So I have had to do my own transforming and shifting around this, and so I'm loving bringing this now to other people. And so, Kiana, would you share with us what your experience was in the class?
Yes, thank you. I would love to. First of all, this topic was something that I knew was significant, but it wasn't until Ariana opened it up that I realized how significant. And just like going to a specialist where that's their whole world focus, Ariana has a depth of wisdom, passion, and a subtle acuity for detecting these things that I think unconsciously we notice, and they certainly impact us. But Ariana has a capacity for honing in on these things, highlighting them so we can make these adjustments, and so we can be far more impactful and congruent and effective in the sense of allowing our authentic voice to come through. When I started the program with Ariana, I was interested, but not so sure what was there for me. It seemed like a good idea. But when I got into the material, I realized, it was like taking something that was kind of not a big deal and on the side of my attention, and it brought it forward and opened it up, and I went, oh my God, there's a lot here. And I realized that I've been a fairly outspoken person a lot of my life. I'm the oldest of a large family, and I was, dramatic and expressive. But I'd gone through a few life experiences where I had actually shut myself down. And by working with Ariana and really hearing more fully the significance of finding our voice, I realized, with great what can I say, tenderness, how much I had shut that part of me down, and that it needed to be restored. And by honoring the value behind my voice and the significance of what my unique message was, I was able to step forward and claim that again. So after working with Ariana, I felt way more chutzpah and zest for getting out there. The other thing that was really huge for me is I've been part of all these business teleseminars where you get your elevator speech and sell yourself, and I really honestly wanted to gag around most of it because it wasn't me. My few-second elevator speech didn't speak to my own unique spirit. I'm definitely an artist, sort of alchemist, and I'm really here to catalyze change. And in order to do that effectively, for me, I value meeting where someone is in the moment. So if I were to bring a canned spiel to someone, well, hi, Ariana, I'm here to blah, 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 that felt gross to me. What was happening is I was moving away from my reaching out and sharing my message rather than moving towards it. And something opened up, which I can't even say how or what actually changed it, but I realized that how I talk is important, and what's alive in me is important, and how I want to say it matters. And the fact that I say it differently than someone else, well, that's me, and that's what I bring. So that was really wonderful.
Yay.
I wrote little notes. I want to say one more thing.
Okay.
Ariana's a firm coach. She was able to challenge us and call us to the mat in a couple areas where we might have been a little blind or unwilling to see, where we were sabotaging ourselves or shutting down. So she was really great at being nurturing and encouraging, but all at the same time really able to hold that firm challenge to step forward and make commitments so that we could really have the experience and the outcomes that we wanted around this. So I personally believe that voicing our message is a significant reason why we're here on the planet. And we each have a different message, and we each have a different voice. And Ariana is a fabulous coach for helping you find that voice.
Great. Thank you. And just tell us a little bit about how you feel now about the value of what you provide and about setting prices and fees for your work.
Well, I feel what's alive in me now is to just be really honest. You know, that I can meet my people instead of creating a false veneer over my presentation and my value. I actually go, this is actually life-changing work. I have a new modality I've added to my bundle. I just wrote the woman who trained me, and it never occurred to me to ask her, what does she charge? I'm already charging more than the person who trained me. And I feel no apology around that. I think she's undervaluing herself. I believe the work is life-changing. And I know that I bring, 34 years of other experience, so that when I'm bringing this new modality, I'm not a beginner. And I know that, so I can offer it with that kind of authority and congruence and confidence.
Yay, great. So all you there watching and considering whether this upcoming Voice Your Value, How to Charge What You're Worth and Get It group VIP intensive day is for you, I want this for you also, that you come out of this day with that same kind of feeling, yes, my voice matters. I get to say things the way I want to say them. I've been able to recover pieces of myself that I lost by shutting my voice down. And I can now step out and, in an understanding of the value of what I do, who I am, and what I provide, I can just confidently move forward and set higher fees and feel absolutely in full integrity about it. That's what I want for you. So if this is something that is really calling to you, if you've got some of that, oh my gosh, this is probably really the right thing, but oh, I don't know if I want to get into that, then it's probably for you. And if you are saying, well, this is very nice, but that's not really for me at this time, great. And thank you so much for being with us, and blessings to you. And if this is really calling to you, I would love to talk with you about the course. There is a button underneath this video where you can schedule a complimentary 30-minute conversation with me, and we can talk about whether or not this is a good fit for you. And it is on November 15th, and it is live, and you just will not get much value if you can't be there for the full day. So if this is calling to you, please clear your calendar and jump in and be with us on November 15th. And you can also go to the Voice Your Value sales page if you know already that, yes, absolutely, this is for me, I'm definitely doing it. In order to get you into action, we have an early bird pricing. Right now it is $497. And on November, let's see, we have several step-ups that we're doing. And Rodney, I'm blanking
November
on
2nd is
exactly when it's going up to. So right now it's
November,
$497 until
November
November
2nd.
10th,
November 2nd it
till
goes
November 2nd.
right, and then on the 3rd it goes up.
And then it goes up on November 2nd, it goes up to $697, and after that it goes up to $897. So you can save $400 by scheduling now before November 2nd. And if you do schedule a conversation with me and you don't have time to schedule it before November 2nd, as long as it's on my books, I will honor that $497 price for you if you've already scheduled your session with me. So book a time to talk with me, or simply jump in and schedule yourself for the course and purchase it. Go ahead. We also have a couple of fast action bonuses, and I want to be completely transparent. We're doing this stair-stepping of prices and offering fast action bonuses just to get you into action, because I know we put things off. I put things off. You put things off. So in order to get you into action, and because I know the value of this content and how fabulous it is, I want you to get in now rather than later. So we also have a fast action bonus of Rodney's How to Shine and Reach More People with Web Video digital download. And he is my videographer. He manages my Google Hangouts, but he does all my videos. He edits them. He shoots them at my home. And so he has put together these wonderful handouts about how to do it yourself at home. So you all know that video is really important. And also, I'm just going to plug the class again. Once you do this Voice Your Value day, you're going to have so much more confidence to get on camera, I promise. So that's one fast action bonus, is Rodney's beautiful handouts detailing the equipment, the lighting, how you should set up, exactly the particular software and programs that you can use, and how to do it all on your own home computer. And our second fast action bonus is my new ebook, Voice Your Value, which talks about a lot of the things that we've discussed here, goes into more than we have time to get into in the group VIP day. So that is limited to those who sign up before November 10th. So those two fast action bonuses you can jump on as well. And I just want to talk a little bit more about something that I haven't touched on yet in this Hangout, which is what I call voice stories. And we are going to be going into these in depth in the group VIP day. A voice story is simply something that you told yourself, or you were told, usually as a child when you were growing up, but sometimes coming out of traumatic events, life events, the way Kiana was describing, that caused you to make a decision about how to speak. It caused you usually to make a decision that shut you down in some way. And we're going to uncover your particular voice stories, and they can be things like girls should be seen and not heard, or anger wasn't allowed to be expressed in my home. It's not okay to express anger. For a number of black women that I've worked with, I don't want to sound like an angry black woman, which is a really sad one. And then for people who have been physically and sexually abused, that's another really big voice story, because not only were you silenced normally by your abuser, who often threatened you with something terrible if you told, but then you silenced yourself in order to be safe. And we give thanks for that part of you that kept you safe, and that part now needs to be allowed to express itself again, because you're no longer in that situation anymore, and you just have that habit of speaking in that way. So there are all kinds of different voice stories, and we will be getting into those as well. So, Rodney, anything else you want to add?
I guess the only thing I would really add, if what I share today, especially for my artist brethren or sisterin, if you all out there are listening to what I've shared today, if my story inspired you, I would highly encourage you to consider taking Ariana up on this offer. Again, for myself, I was already working with Ariana, but when I actually participated in this course and I actually learned the things that she learned, I mean, literally, I actually turned this job down. And that one shift, that one thought, reminding myself that just because it's a gift for me, just because it's something that I love to do, and I feel in my heart, and I know I am, that I'm good at what I do, it doesn't mean that I should just give it away. And so many of us tend to do that. And so I want to encourage you out there, if you're a photographer, a painter, a designer, or anything, and you know that you're struggling financially, to take it to consider this, because what you have, what's really special about you, people love, and they want to give to you, but they're only going to give what you ask for it. So what we did,
Right.
our work together, was really important and powerful for me, and I can't recommend it highly enough. I mean, it was so simple, but a major shift. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Ariana, very much.
Right. And I want to acknowledge that we're slightly over our 30 minutes, but Kiana, I want to give you an opportunity to add anything that you wanted to add.
Yes, thank you. One of the things I want to say is Ariana is so passionate about this topic that it really helped me actually care about it, something that I didn't care about before, and I didn't realize how much it was impacting me. So Ariana is an incredible champion. She believes so much in serving and making the contribution and calling forward the best in each of us that I really recommend getting her in your corner. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, everybody. So if you are listening to this in the future, the link to get into my time trade calendar to schedule that conversation is ariananewcomer.com/apply, APPLY. And if you know you just want to jump in on the course, it's ariananewcomer.com/voice your value. So I look forward to working with you. And again, I'm looking for just 6 really committed, especially women. But as you see with Rodney, I work with men too. Men are welcome. We need men's conscious voices raised too, as we're creating this paradigm shift. So I would love to have you join me, and thank you so much for spending time with me today. And thanks, Kiana and Rodney. I really appreciate your being here, and thank you so much for your wonderful words.
Thank you.
Have a good day, everyone.